Oh man, I'm about to be killed. The inside of the Tsukyu building was fortified like a stronghold. It's okay. You can handle all of them, Saki. There's no end, but you can destroy everyone who would dare hurt your brother. Ever since they'd entered, the girls had been under constant attack by men in black. Saki had her gun, but she could only protect Keiko, so on her way here, they'd gotten separated from Yayoi. What the fuck? I mean, you know, she's on... Yayoi just kinda does. Keiko mercilessly dispatched their adversaries with a quick chop to the back of their necks because, remember, Keiko actually has self-defense training. That was enough to take down the men, perhaps because this was a dream. Saki reloaded her guns. At least this was the case in the dream. Yayoi was usually awful when it came to physical activity and would usually need to be pulled along or else she would fall behind. Which the same is in the dream because, you know, we've experienced that before. Doom, doom, doom. There it is. As she spoke, Saki ruthlessly opened fire into the oncoming men in black. They were practically drones with hardly any individuality, so there was really no need to hesitate before shooting them. It was like a shooting range that allowed firing from the hip. Oh god, you're right. It's like, don't you dare harm her. Oh! Saki murmured after shooting a man in the head who leapt out from behind a pillar trying to grab them. The man went limp and fell to the ground face down. This would probably be way more brutal. Just like blood splattering everywhere, and just the way he fell made Keiko take a step back. I hope I don't get mentally scarred for the rest of my life. In the case the man was actually human and was just dreaming like they were. Usually when you die in a dream, you kind of just wake up. Saki reminded Keiko that her brother was used to dreams, but then she remembered that she's had dreams like that too. Yup. Every time, man. Every time. Ah! I accidentally hit the mouse wheel. Oh! Saki mowed down the men in black who appeared, hardly missing any shots. Checking to make sure there was no one around, Saki reloaded her guns again. How many bullets did she have in those pockets? As many as she needs. Keiko was curious, but she understood that this was just because this was a dream. Saki slid backwards and reloaded again. It's actually a pretty sad thought, huh? Oh, then Saki turned to where there hadn't been any people. Wondering if it was a surprise attack, Keiko looked in the same direction. Oh! Saki just shoots anyway for some reason. Alice had come out of the door and upon seeing the gun being pointed at her, immediately raised her hands. Nothing. You're useless. What? No. He had said that she tended not to be around when they needed her most, and even when she was ultimately useless, but Saki didn't mention that part. Oh, please, save me before I get killed. No, she wants to kill me in front of her daughter, or his daughter, which honestly is like the most fucked up thing.
こに行ったんですか？落ち着いて、ケイコ。上、なんかトールがぐるぐる巻きに縛られて屋上の方に連れて行かれるのを見たの。
Ah, we're gonna have ye old Mexicans stand off on the roof, huh?
屋上？一体何をするつもりかしら。
Why had he been tied up? Saki figured that he would be left or abandoned, but why were they going to the roof?
どうするにしても早く行かないと。
Dude, what if they chuck me off the roof? Oh my god.
ちょっと待って。
Keiko started running, but Alice called out to her.
何ですか？アリスさんも早く。ねえ、ケイコ、あなたこの夢を終わらせたいの？
Yes, please. We don't want to be here.
どういう意味ですか、アリスさん。ここに来るまでに何があったのか大体見えたの。だから分かってるの。ここがある意味ケイコの望んだ夢だって。
Saki had almost seen most of the details, although not all of them. Keiko had wanted to be alone, so she ended up alone. Then, when she suddenly got lonely, Toru came. They lacked a lot of things, but because they were both there, it was bearable enough of a world. But ever since Toru had ruined that world, this dream had already started to end. Saki and Yayoi had been invited to this dream, arrived here, and Toru had been taken away when Keiko wasn't around. But
多分うまくやれば私やトールなら元のケイコが楽しかった頃の夢に戻せる。けどここでケイコが満足すれば。
I don't think she wants to stay in this dream anymore.
何をバカなことを言ってるんですか。そんなの願い下げです。
See? Told you. I know her now. Suddenly Keiko smiled in a way that would irritate some people.
誰かに与えてもらった幸せになんて元から興味ありません。それに先輩はこの夢が終わっても一緒にいてくれるって言っていました。ならそれでいいんです。
It was almost as if Toru had given an answer to Keiko's confession. It was because she understood that she didn't need to hear his answer right away. It had been selfish of Keiko to refuse to hear his answer until they returned, but she wanted to see him live up to that promise. Of course, that wasn't the only reason. It was also so that he wouldn't be chained to her if he changed his mind during this dream with just the two of them.
確かに私は一人が好きです。気楽ですし、人のペースに合わせなくてもいいですから。
But maybe Toru wouldn't like being with her because of that.
平坂さん。けど、先輩がいない世界は嫌です。蓮野さんも、あの気の合わない先輩も、アリスさんだって、いてくれた方が、まだ世の中マシになります。
Which is ironic, because we only ever see Alice in dreams as a whole, so... and the senpai don't get along with.
なんかすっごい私、おまけ扱いじゃない？
Was it the, and even you? Like, you're...
いや、それは、まあ...
Before, Keiko wouldn't have cared if they were there or not. But now she wanted them to be around.
だから、起きた後でも私は何も変わりませんから。だからこそ、こんな人の手のひらの上にいるのは我慢なりません。そっか。ケイコは強いな。
She worked up to that point, man.
強い？そんなことはないです。そんなことない。現実と変わらないって言うけど、現実は変わることがある。だけど、たとえ誰かの手のひらの上だったとしても、夢は幸せなままだよ。誰かの手のひらの上ってだけで、私はどんな幸せも必要じゃありません。 まあもっともその手のひらを自分で選べるならそれでもいいのかなと思いますけど。
I like that. I like the way she put that.
例えば兄さんが頑張って平坂さんを幸せにしてくれるとか、そういうこと？
ああ、その場合は蓮野さんと一緒に踊れるとよりいいですね。
Saki had said this in jealousy, also referring to the diddly that they had. But Keiko's response to caused her to imagine them both happily dancing in Toru's palm for a moment, but she shook it off. Alice and Keiko tilted their heads.
そっか、ケイコがそう言うなら、じゃあそれでいいかな。
I'll put you all in my palm. Alice tossed something shiny to Keiko. Whoa! When Keiko caught it, she realized it was a plain-looking key.
それ屋上の鍵。多分トールたちはそっちに行ったと思うから急いで行ってあげて。
Shit, that means we straight up don't even have to run to the roof. We could just go to one of these doors over here and put the key in and open it.
アリスさんは一緒に来てくれないんですか？
Come on, Alice. The final showdown. You have to be there.
ごめん、私じゃきっと止められないし、あとはそう、
Oh, I clicked.
やっぱり一緒に行けない。理由は話せない。ただそういうものだって思ってほしいかな。
I gotta hate when my finger slips. Dreams don't need reasons. That was something Toru had said to Saki many times. But Saki thought that some dreams did have reasons, like how Toru had summoned Maya.
わかりました。蓮野さん、行きましょう。
アリスさん。
Dude, Alice is an intriguing character. Not quite convinced, Saki hesitated.
行ってらっしゃい。私は一緒に行っても何もできないし、多分邪魔になるから。そうだ。ここは私に任せて先に行ってってことでどうかな。その調子の良さ、なんだか先輩みたいです。そうかな。でも大丈夫。本当に終わるまでなんとか食い止めておくから。
Alice waved her hand lightly. It really seemed like she wasn't coming along, which Keiko found curious, but the men in black really hadn't appeared while they were talking.
それではまた後で。そうだね。
With that, the two of them ran off.
バイバイ。私が見られるのはここまでだ。
Oh, this wasn't the first time. Oh! So Alice saw them off with a wave.
さーてと、ちょっと耐えてみますか。
Alice looked down in the hallway, the way Saki and Keiko had come. It didn't look any different, but
下、もうずいぶん崩れてるみたいだし、弥生は大丈夫かな。
she's fine. God, spit swallowing blow here. The dream had collapsed a long time ago. This was a dream Keiko had wished for, a dream to be alone. She had already started to wake up ever since Toru had forcibly let in. Or fell in. Well, I mean, but if they woke up now, then their story wouldn't end properly.
今さら自分のことを思い出すなんて、ほんとギリギリだな、私も。
It was because she had remembered who she was that she couldn't follow them. What? Tell us! And in the next dream, she was probably going to forget these memories as well.
まあいっか。だけど、一言謝っておいた方がいいかな。
Oh, come on. You can't. Don't cock tease me, game. But there wasn't much time until the dream collapsed. If she apologized or explained herself, she wouldn't have time to do what she needed to do.
今さら 謝れないか。
Sounds like she's like gonna disappear forever. What the fuck's going on? The world was starting to split. She was managing to hold this dream together, but she was nearing her limit.
それじゃみんなまた今度夢で会おうか。
Alice concentrated as much as she could on the melting floors, walls, ceiling, and scenery she could see outside the windows. But it wasn't enough. Oh, well. Goodbye. That got sad real fast. In the collapsing dream, Alice fell into the darkness along with the crumbling hallway. The last thing she heard was...
ご苦労様ね。だけどこれできっとこの夢は間に合ったわ。
Oh my god, I'm like losing my mind. Sounded like there was a hint of sadness in her voice. What? God, what the shit, Blizzard? Okay, well. That got real sad and real intriguing. Leaving Alice behind, the two hurried forward. If things were the same as last time they came here, then the stairs that led to the roof were just ahead. Wait! Hey! Use a key! Oh wait, it's not even a... It's just a keypad. God damn it. Just then. Oh no.
うわ、まだあんなにいたなんて。
Plow through them. When they looked back, the hallway they had just passed through was full of men in black, chasing after them. Not just from down the hallway. They were also appearing from the side rooms and behind pillars. Places where they obviously hadn't been before.
あとは任せろって言っていた人がいたと思うんですが。
Oh, she was doing something else.
まあだけどアリスさんを責めるのは悪いかしら。
Go on, friends. I'll hold this dream together for as long as I can. There was more people appearing from nearby than there were coming from where Alice was. If Toru had been here, he probably would have noticed the sweet nightmare smell coming from these men.
平坂さん、この上が屋上なら一人で行けるわよね。
Oh shit. Saki's gonna hold the line. Saki!
ハスノさん、まさか。
I'll hold him off. You just get up there.
私がここで足止めするわ。後ろからこんなに来られちゃたまらないでしょ。
See, Saki would actually stop them, but unfortunately the dream's crumbling. So, Saki handed one of the guns she'd been holding to Keiko. Oh, jeez.
私、銃なんて撃ったことないんですけど。
Everyone's gotta learn at one point in their life.
ゲーム感覚で撃てば当たるわ。夢だもの。
I like that logic. That's right. This was a dream. If you did it like you were playing a video game at the arcade, you would hit them. Keiko was still hesitating, so Saki pushed her a little more firmly. Little bit.
行って。それで兄さんをお願い。
Bring my brother home. Saki couldn't believe she was leaving Toru in someone else's care like this. She smiled wryly despite herself.
わかりました。ここを片付けたら後からでも来てくださいね。
If I come out of this alive. Keiko ran off holding the gun. Saki had entrusted Toru to Keiko already, so she didn't look in the direction Keiko had gone.
それにしてもよくもこんなに飽きないのかしら。
No, apparently not. And they're limitless. Saki shot the men in black so easily that it almost looked like she wasn't even trying. The men melted into the air as if they were trying not to get into the way of their comrades. Backing up, Saki continued to shoot at the men so they couldn't go past, but they were gradually closing in.
これで平坂さんたちの邪魔をさせたらアリスさんと一緒よね。
Hey, Alice was doing something else. She imagined Toru telling her that she wasn't useful when they needed her most. If that happened, she wouldn't be able to forgive herself. The men in black didn't really feel like people at all. They just blindly charged at her.
あの人たちができて私ができない理由がないわよね。
Whoa! Firing the last bullet, Saki threw away her gun. She was now unarmed and out of ammo. Or so the men in black thought as they swarmed around her. But Saki reached behind a nearby pillar and pulled out what was hiding behind it. It was a submachine gun, because why the fuck not? It was the most dangerous weapon Saki had fired before at a shooting range overseas.
ま、こんなとこよね。
That'll do, pig. That'll do. she had pulled out something more dangerous than a handgun with her own strength.
ほんと、兄さんもこのくらいできるはずなんだから、早く自分で逃げてくれればいいのに。
Why do I like, whenever I do gun sounds, I always do like the giant gun sounds, like doom doom, you know. With a small size, she opened fire. Jesus Christ. Can we get that animated, please? Like Saki just surrounded, pulling out a submachine gun and then just mowing them down. That'd be amazing. This would actually be a fucking super, it's like, you know, it's a really good visual novel already. We're not even done, and we still have many, many, many questions to have answered. Burp. But this would be a sick anime if they did it right, I feel like. Just as Keiko stepped through the door to the roof, the single shots that came from Saki's direction became a barrage of gunfire. She's good. That's her doing it, not, you know. What was she doing? But that thought quickly disappeared from her mind as she saw what was happening in front of her. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Help. Oh, it was her father, and at his feet was Toru, with his hands and legs bound. Well, when those students are kind of armed and one of them's a crazy sister, you know, what are you gonna do? Apparently, the idea that the daughter of a security company's president could pull out guns from thin air and mow them all down didn't cross his mind. His face contorted at the thought of his subordinate's uselessness. Dude, he is gonna plant the gun to my head and then just blast me. Oh my god, that's fucked up. Or throw me off the roof. Toru is laid limp and motionless on the ground. Point the gun at your dad! Oh my god. Keiko's father looked surprised at his daughter's outburst. She's gonna be threatening you in a second. Her father's piercing stare was almost enough to make her legs tremble. She was afraid. She wanted to cower. There was no one else on the roof beside them and the unconscious Toru. There was no one for her to act tough for, so she felt tempted to just say, understood, like always. But she managed to keep her composure. She felt the weight of the gun Saki had given her in her hand and was reminded why she came here. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Keiko knew how important Toru was to Saki. Normally, Saki would just charge out here and save Toru herself, even if she had to shoot her way through it to do it. But Saki had left it to Keiko. Keiko knew what that meant. Yeah, it really doesn't. Don't do that. But now I'm putting my foot down. He looked straight at Keiko. That's pretty fucked up, buddy. Invalid. Hearing her beloved be called that enraged Keiko. Pull out the gun. I'll scare him. No, it won't. Because he's one of them bigwigs, you know? Like...
おこがましいとは思わないのか？
自分がどれだけ偉いつもりなんですか？
私が思う程度に私は偉い。ケイコ、お前も私の娘だという自覚をそろそろ持ってほしいものだな。
I mean, people like him think they're like more important than the entire world, right? Like like a certain maybe Activision CEO. Like he had that time, like that he had that time at Christmas. Arasaka reached into his clothes and pulled out a handgun. Whoa! It was smaller than the one Saki had given Keiko, but it was more than enough to shoot Toru at this distance. Here it goes. I'm gonna die. It's over. Oh. Oh my god. She pointed the gun at her father. No one would stop her this time. If she wanted to shoot him, she could. But just because this was a dream didn't mean that she was comfortable pointing a gun at her father. I mean, unless you really, really, really hated them, right? I feel like you'd feel something. Noticing this, her father pointed the gun at Toru and looked down at Keiko. Or looked at Keiko. I mean, he's looking down at him.
それが私に物を頼む態度か?
Apparently.
お願いします。先輩を撃たないでください。
Hurry and wake up. If you do, you'll be able to escape on your own. Please don't make me shoot him. But Keiko, her hands trembling, kept her gun pointed at her father.
この男のためなら私にも銃を向けるのか?
She's doing it, man.
私だって嫌です。だけど
ならばこの男に二度と近づかないと誓え。
I don't know if she can do that.
ケイコ、お前がそう約束するのなら、私は何もしない。
She just fucking shoots him right there. He was serious. Her father didn't lie about things like this. If she said that, then Toru would be saved right now. Being shot wouldn't normally kill anyone in a dream, but right now they were too much under the influence of this dream. So much so that it might actually be possible for Toru to die. I don't know. Well, maybe? These dreams are fucky, man.
そんなこと。
なぜ私の言うことに従わない？お前はもっと聞き分けの良い子だっただろう。それとも今までは私が甘かっただけか？
Keiko didn't think that their relationship was overly strict. Her father didn't care about her. He only cared about himself and his business. But now her boyfriend was intruding into that business. Her father couldn't stand the thought of Toru taking a position close to his. So even if they overcame this, Toru might not be forgiven.
もしも私が嫌だって言ったら
Well,
どうするんですか?
I'll just blast your boyfriend straight in the head and
言うまでもない。ただ、お前はいつか私が正しかったと気づくはずだ。
God, this is such a fucked up situation. Her father's eyes looked serious, but they also seemed cloudy somehow, like he was dreaming.
ここで私がもう会わないと言えば先輩は助かる。
Okay, here's the plan. Keiko, you say that. Hold on, we're gonna do the ye old double cross. You say that, right? Say, I'm not gonna, I won't see him anymore and whatever. He'll let his guard down, and then you shoot him. Yeah, then it means nothing. Wait, if he's... Okay, so maybe her dad could possibly die as well. If I'm under that rule of Toru being able to die, maybe, then he's also under that rule. Because, every one of us is influenced with the dream so much at this point. Oh god, I just realized how much this was fucked up. Okay. Then at least the worst case scenario could be avoided. If it wasn't something for her to decide while he was sleeping. If she could just get through the situation.
もう一度言います。先輩から離れて銃を捨ててください。
Is he gonna do like that thing where he's, you don't have the guts to shoot me? She couldn't do it. Keiko's hands were still shaking. She didn't know if she could hit him, but still, she kept the gun pointed at him. She wasn't aiming for anywhere in particular. She just had the barrel trained on him as steadily as she could manage. Heart. Oh god, here's my death. His face twisted. Was it in anger, frustration, or something else? His daughter hadn't obeyed him, that was all. But in this dream world, his mental state was unstable, and her defiance was far too much for him. The trigger was pulled. No! There was an all too familiar bang. Oh. Damn! Fucking Keiko. Wait! Clutching his hand, Keiko's father took a step back, but it wasn't Keiko who had fired. I didn't think it was. The gun had already disappeared from her hands.
ったく、どんな事情があったとしても、自分の親に銃を向けちゃダメよ。
So let me do it instead. Yoi had been the one who pulled the trigger.
先輩。
I'm here to save the day like you did in my route. Keiko made a face like she didn't understand what happened. Yoi had apparently snatched the gun from Keiko's hand and fired it in her stead. Having been shot, Keiko's father dropped his gun and backed away from Toru. Okay, so like, I mean, it did sound like she shot his hand, so it's good on you. Only upon seeing her father holding his hand did Keiko realize what had happened. But his hand wasn't bleeding at all.
私を手伝うと言っていたのは嘘か。
手伝いはしたわ。けど、あなたと私は目的が違っていただけのことよ。
Yoi's an enigma, man. Just accept it. Yoi kept her eyes on Keiko's father. She was even more cautious than Keiko.
目的だと。この男が欲しかったのではないのか。
なめないで。確かに私にとってトールはケイコよりも大事な相手だけど、そんなつもりであなたに手を貸したわけじゃないのよ。
More important, you say? Shit, man. Yoi glanced at Keiko out of the corner of her eye.
この子が本当にトールのことが好きなのか、それとも拾われた子犬が懐いた程度なのか確かめたかったのよ。
どういう意味ですか？
It was just one big test for you, Yoi.
言ったままの意味よ。トールはいい子だから恋人には尽くすでしょうね。だけどケイコはそこにつけ込むだけなのかもって思ってたのよ。相手が優しいのをいいことに甘えるだけなのかってね。
何ですかそれ？私は。
Calm down.
あんた、最初トールに懐いてたのは父親に対しての当てつけがなかったって言えるの？逃げてただけじゃないって言える？
Keiko fell silent. Oh.
好きだからじゃない。トール以外の男でもよかったようなら、私はサキちゃんのところに戻るように何でもするつもりだったわ。
Damn. The test, it's full circle! Keiko could see that Yoi loved Toru, but more importantly, she loved Toru and Saki. So she had meddled in her own way to see if it was alright for Keiko to be Toru's girlfriend.
だけどケイコ、あなたが思った以上に一途な女だって分かったから。だから、手伝ってあげる。
I mean, she pulled a gun on her dad.
あなたに言われるのは癪ですけど、確かに自分でも驚いてます。私は先輩がいないともうきっとダメになります。
ケイコ、お前。
Nanny? Keiko's father grit his teeth and stared at her. She looked at him right back.
私はあなたが嫌いです。父親としても人としても。それでも私はあなたの子供だから。 嫌いでも何でも、私はあなたに頼らないと生きていけません。
Because I'm a child. Because I was born into your family.
私は世間知らずで無力です。まだ一人で生きていくことだってできませんし、家を出て苦労しようなんてことを選ぶくらいなら、たとえ嫌いな相手でもあなたの保護を受けて楽に生きることを選んでいます。
Damn, she is letting it all bear. She knew what she was saying was selfish. She had a house, an allowance to do as she liked, and she could sing and have friends. But
私を育ててくれたことには感謝します。これからもまだ少しだけあなたに頼らないとならない。だけどどうしてもっときちんと父親でいてくれないですか。
oh, look at that desperate plea. This was the first time Keiko had ever said this to her father.
お母さんも家を出て行って私の恋人を無理やり別れさせようとして、あなたの望みは何なんですか。
Come on, let your daughter's tears make your heart 10 times bigger.
結局何がしたいんですか。
Yoi held on to Keiko, who was practically in tears.
私は
嫌いです。お父さんだって大嫌いです。
Keiko's father grit his teeth. Just then, I'm getting up. Toru let out a groan from where he lay bound on the ground.
貴様が
Oh no, it's over.
うわ、バカ！なんてタイミングで起きてくるのよ！
Damn it! Why did I should have just not made any noise. Naturally aware of what Yuyoi was thinking, Toru stirred.
先輩。
Oh
貴様
god
が
damn it.
稽古を変えたのか。
I did not. Oh. Kaigo's father slowly approached Toru. Oh, yeah, he's gonna throw me off the roof. It's over. But he didn't even have a gun. They couldn't just let him do as he wanted. Keiko shook off Yuyoi's hand and ran to Toru. Yuyoi pointed the gun at Keiko's father again. It was almost a fluke that she'd been able to hit him the first time. She had altered the dream to do it. But now Keiko was in the way, and Yuyoi didn't know what to do in order to not to hit either her or Toru. The sweet nightmare smell coming from Keiko's father was now so strong that even Yuyoi could smell it. Oh my fucking god, Maya! As soon as he heard this, Keiko's father froze. The hand he had raised when Keiko ran to Toru froze in place. Oh.
とってもいい匂い。美味しそうな匂いがするわ。
Oh god, this is about to get real horrifying. Licking her lips, Maya had appeared behind Keiko's father as if she walked out from his shadow. That is creepy.
貴様
Oh my god.
お兄ちゃんを傷つける相手は許さない。そう言ったはずだったのに、結局こうしちゃうんだから、救えないわ。理解がないわ。悲しくなるわ。
She should have listened to her the first time, man. She did tell you that oh god.
黙れ。私は私の稽古を守るために。
そんなの知らないわ。右手を食べられた大人のおじさん。今はね、私あなたが食べたくて仕方がないの。
Oh, Jesus. Giggling, Maya gave an all too familiar smile.
意固地になって頭の固い大人の夢はどんな味がするのかしら。ねえ、大事な娘に嫌いって正面から言われて今どんな気分かしら。
Maya? Still in Keiko's arms, Toru sensed the presence of the nightmare and slowly woke up.
あら、今さら気づいたのね、お兄ちゃん。もう少しこのおじさんをいじめたかったけど仕方ないわ。 するつもりなんですか。
Eat him. That's literally what she said.
ケイコの大嫌いな大人を食べてあげるの。きっと素敵な夢を見られるわ。子供を傷つけた大人が見る悪夢はどんな素敵な夢かしら。待ちなさい、マヤ。
There's no stopping her now.
待たないわ。せいぜい夢の中で後悔しなさい。
Oh. Before Keiko could reach out to him, Maya's shadow surrounded Keiko's father. Oh my god. It grew bigger and wider than his whole body and, like the jaws of a crocodile, closed on him in an instant.
チックタックチックタック。
Keiko's father pried the black jaws open again with his arms and legs.
私はこんな。
おやすみなさい。これからはいい悪い夢を。とてもつまらない寝言だったわ、おじさん。
Oh, okay, that was fucked up. The gaping black maw closed around him easily and disappeared into the shadows.
やっぱり頭の固い大人はダメね。すぐに夢に飲まれて自分じゃなくなっちゃうもの。
Maya, what's that? Leaning against Keiko's shoulder, Toru got to his feet, still unsteady. Hold on.
悪い夢よ。起きたらその程度のことになって終わっちゃうわ。
本当にひどい悪夢よね。娘に嫌いって言われた挙句、ワニに食べられておしまいなんて。
Well, at least he'll just be like, ah, what kind of dream was that? Seeing that there was no longer anything to worry about, Yui relaxed and threw away her gun. Maya giggled like she always did and stood in front of everyone else. Did you help me?
今はね。だって私の大事な大事なお兄ちゃんですもの。
Yeah, the only one who could hurt Oni-chan is her. Maya narrowed her eyes and looked up at Toru.
だから意地悪するの。お兄ちゃんに彼女なんてできたから。可愛い妹の可愛い嫉妬は続くのよ。
Then this dream really was your fault. Maya just smiled.
だけどもうおしまいです。この夢はあなたが作った望み通りの夢じゃなくなってる。あら、どうしてそう思うの？この中では一番夢の扱いが下手なお嬢さん。
Okay, you don't have to just rub it in.
ここが私が一人でいたいと願った夢だからです。だけど先輩が来てくれましたから。だけどここはまだ壊れてないわ。
つまりこの夢を保つためにマイヤ、あなた無理してるんじゃないの
Yoi, who had been watching silently, cut in.
ルーティは本当にひどいわ。どうしてそういうことをすぐに口にしてしまうの？
So this dream really is ending. Toru was sensitive to dreams, so he could tell, even though he just regained consciousness.
ええ、そうね。もうこの場所以外は全部崩れちゃったかしら。
If you went down there and through the door, you wouldn't see anything.
じゃあハスノさんとアリスさんは？
いつも通りなら目を覚ましてるところだけど。
Well, except Alice. Feels bad. Maya said nothing.
それでケイコ、この夢はどうだった？まだ続けたいかしら。
Fuck no. Keiko quietly shook her head.
一人は嫌です。
Dude, this was just one giant exercise. Toru had been anticipating this, but those words still surprised him a little. Maya smiled without letting her feelings show, like always.
それに目を覚ましても覚まさなくてもみんながいるなら私は夢から覚めたいです。 あなたの嫌いなお父さんはこっちにはいないわ。それでもこの夢は嫌？ええ、嫌です。私は人の手のひらの上で幸せになりたくない。そっか、夢を見てる本人がそう言うんじゃ仕方ないわよね。
Just then, Maya's form faded a little. No! Maya, where are you going? Toru had sensed that this was different from her usual way of disappearing. Is she just actually disappearing for good now?
少し無理しすぎちゃった。お兄ちゃんが無理やりこの夢に入ってきてからここまで持たせるの大変だったのよ。
Toru knew what that meant. Are you gonna disappear? Is this the end?
ええ、これでこの夢はおしまい。ほら、どんどん崩れてるのがわかるでしょ。
Toru let go of Keiko and walked over to Maya. Keiko tried to stop him, but Yayoi grabbed Keiko's shoulder and shook her head.
多分これでお別れだから邪魔しちゃダメよ。
Oh shit, like last time it was just me and her doing, like, it was just me and Maya. And now we have bystanders watching. Keiko seemed unconvinced, but she didn't try to go to Toru's side. Maya.
何？あの時、あの森でお兄ちゃんは私とお別れした気でいたんじゃなかったの？
Maya giggled like she always did, even though she was disappearing.
お兄ちゃんってば、稽古に夢中で私のことなんてどんどん考えなくなってるんだもの。悔しいから邪魔してみたけど、それでも邪魔しきれなかったし、だからしょうがないから諦めてあげる。
Maya.
だけどいい？何かあったらすぐにこっちに引き戻してあげるから。だからお兄ちゃんは死ぬまでずっと怯えてなさい。私が来るかもって。
Alright. Oh, well, with an even more joyful laugh, Maya disappeared into the air. Yeah, I understand. Until I die, she meant that she didn't want him to die for a long time.
先輩。
Toru turned around and took Keiko's hand. It's okay. It's okay. Seeing this, Yoi shrugged and jumped off where the ground had collapsed in order to wake herself up. Okay, bye. Toru didn't want to cry in front of Keiko, but the tears had already come.
身内に、妹相手に嫉妬したりなんてしませんよ。
Though it was just an act. Right now, that was all she could say. Toru fell to his knees and Keiko held his head. That's how we, you know. In the collapsing dream, the two of them floated up into the light instead of falling into darkness. Whoa, really? Everyone else just fell into darkness. Oh, we did it! Dude, that was... I like that route. I like the, I really like the fact that everyone was right about, you know, Yayoi probably being one of the truest heroes, just like Keiko was in her own route. I like that. Oh, I should... Whoa, God. This panties. I also liked how... liked the idea that it was really about trying to... like, we were trying to make... It was like giving Keiko the, being like, here, you want to dream where you're alone? There you go. What, you don't like it? Why not? Like, and then I show up, and I was like, oh, okay. And then she was actually alone. I like that. I like that a lot. You know what? I'm just gonna shut up and let the song talk. Shit, man. Actually, I'd say I'd probably... oh, shit, the epilogue. I would probably say that Yuyoi and Keiko's routes were, like, equal in terms of how much I liked them. But I really like both of them, so... Once that was all over with... Oh, no. Just as winter was nearing its end and it was gradually getting warmer, yes, we're not in the dream. Again, I was accompanying Hirasaka to the front of the station.
最近だいぶ暖かくなりましたね。
God, when you're in that world for so long, where fucking plants are everywhere, it's just like, oh my god. Well, I'm grateful to have one less thing to worry about. Hirasaka was still wandering around at night. Plus, since she cared so little about herself, sometimes she got so sick from walking around in the cold.
けど、暖かくなると夜中でも外に出る人が増えますよ。
Do you enjoy making me worry?
ええ。先輩に心配されるのは嬉しいです。
She replied as she usually did, so I couldn't tell if she was being serious or not. I passed the guitar I'd been holding to Hirasaka.
それじゃ、ちょっと歌ってきます。
You enjoy. Yeah, do your best. Hirasaka nodded before heading to the spot where she usually sang at. After that dream ended, we returned to reality. Though it had been a huge ordeal for us, in reality nothing had changed, and the days passed like they always did. Well, yeah, that's what happens when you get out of a dream. Oh, hello? Don't do oh no.
大事な話があります。
Oh, it's about to get real, isn't it? Saki, who had come over for dinner, sat on her knees in front of me. Something? Is this gonna be something I know about?
ええ、知ってることです。ただ、いつか自分でどうにかするかと思っていたんですが、そろそろ一言言っておくべきかと思って。
What is it? Seeing how serious she was, I sat up straight.
なんで最近、毎日平坂さんが兄さんの夕飯を用意しているんですか？
Oh my god. That's right. Even as Saki and I sat facing each other, Hirasaka was making tonight's dinner in the kitchen right next to us. Well, we invite you to eat with us, don't we? Not only that, but Saki sometimes went shopping with Hirasaka, or brought ingredients from the Hasuno house.
それとこれとは別の話です。
Saki slapped her hand on the table. Oh, yes, ma'am!
どうしてそんなことになってるのか、きちんと聞いてないんですけど。
Oh, eh.
先輩外食ばかりじゃないですか。しかも夕飯に持ち帰りのお弁当ばかり食べてましたよね。
Hey, don't tell her my secrets. Hirasaka interjected into the conversation as she looked over at us.
ほっとくのも気が引けるので、こうして自分の分と合わせて作りに来ているだけなんですけど。
Yeah, what she said.
なるほど。まあ、私だって兄さんの健康は心配で、口を酸っぱくして言ってきたことだから、そういった意味ではありがたいわけですけど。
Sounding more like a mother-in-law than a sister, Saki continued.
平坂さんもお家で一人でご飯食べたり外食するよりは、確かに、まあ、いいですけど。
Don't say that. Saki muttered, seemingly loath to have admitted it.
それが最近一人じゃないんですよ。
Hirasaka sighed as though it was the biggest pain in the world. Felt like she had become more expressive as of late, but more importantly...
お手伝いさんでも入りましたか？
いえ、父がよく家に帰ってくるように。
Oh, he cares? Does he care now? She sighed again.
その上、何を話すわけでもないのに、私と一緒に食事を取りたがったり。思春期の娘を持つ父親みたいで面倒です。
Okay, I gotta give it to him. He's making an effort to change, at least a little bit. It wasn't like he was the father of a teenage girl. He really was the father of a teenage girl. I wonder what was with the change of heart? Did something happen? I mean, the nightmare? Hirasaka had said that he hardly ever came home and seemed uninterested in doing so.
というか、それっていつから？
ちょうどあの夢が終わって目を覚ました後あたりからです。 何がしたいんでしょう、あの人は。
And it hit me.
兄さん、何か気づいたみたいだけど。
The bad dream. This was almost certainly Maya's doing. We knew exactly what each other was thinking. At the end, Maya had dropped Arasaka's father into a nightmare. It must have been bad enough for him to change his attitude when he woke up. Unlike me, normal people didn't remember their dreams clearly. And yet, for him to change like this, what kind of dream did he have?
なので父と二人きりでいるのが苦痛で、こうして先輩のところに避難してます。
It was probably a good old wake-up call. Even Saki could only smile wryly at that. Saki could offer any amount of sound arguments, but it looked like she didn't know what to say after seeing Arasaka's father's attitude in the dream. Saki, that was a dream. I'm pretty sure he won't resort to such forceful measures in reality.
そうよね。うちの父さんじゃあるまいし。
Oh, that is foreshadowing and a half. For her route. I averted my gaze. That did sound like Mr. Hasuno would have done if someone tried to make a move on Saki.
けれど最近付き合ってる男がいるのかなんて聞いてくるんですけど。
Mm-hmm. Saki prompted me in silence. You haven't told him?
きちんとはまだ言っていません。
Saki, what should I do?
私に言われても。
What do I...
まあさすがに気づいてるとは思うんですが。
My sister and I looked at each other doubtfully.
まあその辺は兄さんが後で頑張るとして。
Wait, what? According to Harasaga's dad, I'm a semi-invalid, you know. After that little fiasco, Saki and the others had gone back to having normal dreams again. But I was still having my lucid dreams, so my mornings weren't pleasant. The only difference was that Maya no longer appeared. In other words, things had gone back to the way they were.
頑張って。ここは夢じゃないから銃もないし、変な黒服の人にも捕まらないわ。
You don't know that. He probably has a bunch of men in black suits. In exchange, I also can't alter reality like I can dreams. In other words, I was just the boyfriend of a daughter of a stubborn man I needed to appease.
というかまだ向こうに知られてないのにこの状況。
Saki held her head and sighed deeply. Though I emphasized I wanted to pretend that I didn't.
そこまで蓮野さんに心配される状況でもないと思いますけど。
The smell of dinner wafted in from the kitchen. Saki nearly gave in to the smell and dropped the subject. But she shook her head to chase away the temptation.
けどそうだっていうのに平坂さんここに泊まってること多いわよね。
She was right. Lately, there were even times when Arasaka brought her uniform, stayed the night, and then we'd go to school together the next day. I was worried about what would happen if the school found out.
遊びじゃないんだし、何か問題ありますか？
We're not? Oh boy, the school had rules that prohibited illicit sexual relations. Rules that I took seriously.
二人ともまだ学生でしょ。遊びじゃないのなんて分かってますけど、責任だって取りきれないでしょ。
If we had been Saki, then Saki would have taken the law into her own hands, and I would possibly be beyond recovery by now. Saki glared at me. Whoa!
兄さん、まさかとは思うんだけど、否認はきちんとしてるんでしょうね。
God, I hope so. Not expecting those words to come out of Saki's mouth, I choked. What?
分かってますか？ここは兄さんの得意な夢じゃないんです。することすればその通りになるし、なかったことになんてできないんですからね。
Fucking Saki's just so crazy. I know that, and I'm careful about using birth control. I had condoms on hand. I understood the need, but...
ま、私がこっそり外すんですけどね。
Whoa! Harasaka murmured something outrageous.
平坂さん？
What do you mean? How do you sneak it off?
だってあんなものつけてたら、その分だけ先輩を感じにくいじゃないですか。
兄さん？
Oh, what? Wait, no. I'm always careful, but sometimes she really does manage to do it. Harasaka still looked unconcerned.
私たちの問題ですから。
この人は私の兄さんです。そういうのはせめて学校くらい卒業してからにしてください。
Saki's gotten more and more mother-in-law-like ever since I started going out with Hirasaka. But Hirasaka was looking at Saki like she wanted to say something.
何かしら、平坂さん。言いたいことがあるならどうぞ。
いえ、私は先輩のものですけど、先輩も私のものですよってきちんと言ってなかったと思って。
Saki turned and stared at me. She stared silently, slapping my knee. Hey!
平坂さん、それはどういう意味かしら？
Why are you looking at me? Hirasaki didn't seem concerned about that anymore either.
私を愛してくれれば、先輩が蓮野さんを愛そうが、手を出そうが構わないと思ってた時期もあったってことです。
But now... Saki stopped slapping me and looked away bashfully. Her ears were bright red.
だけど、今はダメです。いくら蓮野さんでも、先輩の妹以上の関係になるのは嫌です。
Yeah, yeah.
誰がそんなこと望みますか？何度も言ってるけど、私は兄さんの妹です。手を出すとかそんな、何言ってるんですか？
Oh my god, I think that's the most embarrassed we've ever seen Saki in our life. Saki looked at Hirasaka and vehemently denied it. Her face was still red. Hirasaka crouched down and looked Saki in the eye.
その言葉、嘘じゃないですよね。
Oh.
ないわよ。
No. Saki, look people in the eye when you talk to them. Saki averted her eyes from both myself and Hirasaka. She was completely unconvincing. Hirasaka gave a resigned snort.
それじゃ、そろそろご飯できますから、用意、手伝ってもらえますか？
ちょっと本当に大丈夫だから。もう私だって兄さんのことを押し倒して既成事実作ってやろうとか思ってないから。
I don't think you had to add in that part anymore. Saki looked away from me again. Saki, go home.
二人きりにしたら何するか。
Go home. Get out of here.
止まっていく限りはすることしますよ。
Whoa.
だから。
Saki waved her hand, slapping my knee while she was at it. So, with the grumpy little sister slash mother-in-law at our side, we passed the rest of the evening in a semi-normal manner. Manner. We're not gonna talk about it. Well, on days off, her song often sang outside starting in the afternoon. At this moment, she was just coming to the end of a song. There weren't many people around, but there were more than usual listening today. They often made sure to leave their offerings before walking away. Sometimes they stayed to chat with her a little. While her song wasn't particularly friendly, she wasn't overtly hostile either. Well, nice job.
どうも。
I gave Hirasaka a canned drink that I'd bought. It was a new product for spring. Strawberry milk tea. I don't know about that. Honestly, it was too sweet for me, but Hirasaka didn't complain. In fact, she was rather pleased with it. Lately, more people have been listening to you.
暖かくなって外に出るようになったんじゃないですかね。
It wasn't just that, I thought. Hirasaka's singing had changed. I had always thought her singing was pretty. But now, there was something more to it. It was like she wanted people to listen, rather than just hear her in passing. You seem to be having way more fun, and even seem to be enjoying having people listen.
そうですね。そうかもしれません。
Hirasaka stared at me.
前はただ歌いたかっただけなんですけど、今はそれだけじゃなくて、歌にもメッセージがあるんだなと思うようになって。だから歌いたい歌が減りました。困ったものです。
So you're becoming more aware of what you're actually singing.
そうですね。いい歌だとしても、私が人前で歌うには違うかなって歌もやっぱりありますし。
About time you noticed that, apparently.
歌で伝えたい。それってこういうことかもしれないって思うようになりました。
I see. Oh.
なんか随分そっけないですね。
Yeah, I see, you know. Well, I'm not rather knowledgeable about music, and, waiting for my reply, Hirasaka tilted her head. And I get the impression that you've started singing more songs about couples. It wasn't just sweet, happy songs. There were also a lot of anxious songs and songs about heartbreak, but they were all songs about relationships.
今、私幸せですから。
Aw, well, I'm glad to hear that. Hirasaka said without even the slightest hint of embarrassment. In fact, she seemed downright confident.
それに、今自信のある感情って、それしかないんです。まだ不安がたくさんあります。伝えたいことや、伝えた方がいいことはたくさんあるはずなんです。だけど、ほら、私そういうの苦手ですから。だから、今一番強い思いしか歌えないんです。
Hey, I'm down for that. I see.
ええ。だからやっぱり歌います。いつか、あの人にもきちんと自分の言葉で、夢じゃないところで伝えられるように。
By that person, you mean...
ええ。いつか夢じゃなくて、相手に分かるようにはっきり言ってやるんです。
Because he's too stupid.
不自由なく育ててくれてありがとう。けど、あなたのことは大嫌いだって。
The relationship between Hirasaka and her father had been changing little by little ever since that dream. Maybe by the time Hirasaka worked up the courage to say it to his face, her words would still have changed. Maybe. I realized that Hirasaka was staring at me. She looked unhappy.
そういえば先輩、私ベッドの上でしか返事もらったことないんですけど。
Oh, you're gonna make me do it in public? Surprised that she would mention this so nonchalantly in public, I dropped the canned juice I'd been trying to open. Hirasaka picked it up and tapped it against her own shoulder as if to say she wasn't handing it over until I gave her a reply.
セックスの最中はそれ目的に感じるから、そういうことは言いたくないんじゃないでしたっけ？
Even though there was no longer anyone listening to Hirasaka sing, and no one around seemed to be paying attention to us, for her to bring it up like this was still... after waking up from the dream, I had given Hirasaka an answer, I figured. But that was later, after we had our first night together in reality, so I couldn't blame her for feeling this way.
ま、確かに返事はもらうはもらいましたし、あの時、嬉しくて泣いた身としては何も言えないんですけど。
Hirasaka?
そうだ先輩。そろそろギター、後ろで弾いてもらえませんか？一曲くらいならもうできますよ。
Oh, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. Oh. Hirasaka tried to pick up the guitar at her feet, but I caught her. You don't have to try to change the subject just because you're embarrassed.
別に照れてなんか。
But she was obviously not satisfied by the fact that I hadn't told her properly. Or maybe she just wanted me to say it so she could assure herself. Either way, I love you, Keiko.
ハスノさんや、もう一人の妹さんよりもですか？
Oh, well, hey now. When I tried to object to that characterization, she slipped out of my arm, picked up her guitar, and tossed it at me. Hey, be careful with that! As I caught the guitar, I noticed that Hirasaka had a brilliant smile on her face.
冗談です。私も愛してますよ、トール先輩。
Her expression made it hard for me to get back at her from that jab. I can still only play one song well.
じゃあこれから増やしていきましょう。まだたくさん伝えたいことは増えていくはずですから。
Okay, that's a guaranteed right there. She was right. There probably would be more. More things Hirasaka wanted to say, and more things I wanted to say. Reality wasn't as convenient as a dream, and I was sure we would meet and part ways with a lot of people as time went on. I just hoped that we'd be able to remain together through all of it. I'll give it a try. I gently tapped the body of the guitar. Damn. I mean, we'll always be together, man. Finn. We did it, guys. Finn. I like that. Oh, no. Well, here it goes. It's fading away. Fading away into the light. Oh. Oh my god, dude. I like that. I like that little sweet thing in the H scene that I'm gonna cut so perfectly. Hooray! So, see? We got the two on the sides done. Now I feel like we're gonna actually get into the true meat. The true meat and potatoes of the game. Because although these were good, they didn't truly deal with the matters at hand. Which are gonna be these two. More specifically this one and this one. But Alice is gonna be last because reasons. But next we'll be doing Saki. And then we'll be going. Oh no! It's doing the thing! Okay, well, I should probably end before it does it again. So yeah, Saki's next, and I'll do what I did last time with showing specific scenes, how they change, and should be a fun old time. And I hope you guys enjoyed Keiko's route. I know I did. I liked it as much as I did Yayoi's route, and I'll see you next time.